we're gonna actually try and get through at least chapter 1, hopefully. I don't know how much longer this is gonna be. I've never played this game. But let's get back into this. Obviously, we gotta go talk to Kyoko. Before we start searching for Sayaka's killer, we need to decide what to do about securing the crime scene. What do you mean? What do you think she means, Makoto? You're thinking of putting someone on guard duty so nobody can disturb the area, aren't you? After all, if the culprit decides to destroy evidence, we're pretty much screwed.
Hey.
In that case, I don't mind doing it. I don't like having to think anyway. I'll let you guys figure out who killed that chick. Okay, then we can let Mondo look after the scene. Well, no, we can't just leave him there alone. No shit, Sherlock! There's a murder among one of you people!
What?
What? Why the hell not? Why would we leave you alone? Like, in what world do you think it's smart to leave somebody who you think might be a killer alone?
Stop talking.
Isn't it obvious? If you were the culprit, what was the first thing you would do? By volunteering for guard duty, you're in a position to destroy all the evidence you want. I don't really think he's smart enough for that. I'm not going to say that, but I don't think it's Mondo. What? Fuck you!
So then...
Fine then, I'll stay there on guard duty as well. That way there's no problem. Two-player co-op based defense with the two of them. With their stats, they're totally OP. Since we won't be able to help with the investigation, we're putting our faith in the rest of you.
But...
I'm still pretty freaked out, but I'll try. Okay? I'd like to examine the dead body because she was so suspicious that it does not make me think that she's dead. Especially because that was way overplayed. I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. Bum, bum, bum! I touched her wrist to check for a pulse, like they do in the movies and stuff, but... she really is dead. I'm still gonna be on the fence about that, probably for a while. There wasn't anything else to say. She was gone. I don't know why you even bothered to check. After those injuries and losing that much blood... Frankly, I'd be shocked if she did survive something like that.
Huh?
Hello, Zeta! If you're going the house smart throw, well, does any of them fall under smart? Some of them fall under smart! Most of them don't fall under smart. Huh? Hold on. Just wait a second. She's dead? That means... How did you miss this, dude?
What?
That means everything that happened so far is real? Is a joke or whatever? It's really real?
Let me out of here!
Hell no! Somebody save me! Let me out of here! Somebody help me!
What's your problem?
You're just now accepting that? Lady, you weren't free from this either. So when it comes to my suspicions, Kyoko and Byakuya are like the top of I don't think they're killers. Hello, people! But those are the two that I don't think are killers. I think he's gonna die. I think she's gonna probably die. I don't know about you. You seem super suspicious, but not right now. My main suspicion are probably on Leon right now. Like, he seems like such an outlier that I'm like, especially because he's standing at the back of this all alone. Let's see. My other thing would be her, because she's so calm about this.
Oh.
So you finally noticed.
What the crap?
Huh? Notice what? If they're precious, they're gonna die. Yes, that is always the issue. I was looking through the Monokuma file we received, and I noticed something very obvious and very unusual.
Huh?
Huh? What are you talking about? Go ahead, take a look. Notice anything interesting about where Sayaka died? She died in Makoto's dorm. What? She's right.
Eh?
Then could it be? All at once, everyone's gaze turned on me. Crap. Well, that's also making her look really suspicious. There's so much suspicious going around here. Hold on a second, you got it all wrong. Yes, this Let's Play is spoiler-free. I don't know this game. I've never played it. I never watched the anime. I know nothing. For just one night, I traded rooms with her. I did it because she was afraid.
What the heck?
You expect us to believe that? Just tell us the truth. The look in everyone's eye had done a complete 180 from just a few minutes ago. The feeling of suspicion and fear had returned. In other words, you think I did it? Oh, you, okay, come on. You're gonna die.
Then.
Are we all done talking? We need to begin our investigation soon. At this point, we should split up. We need to get to the bottom of this and find out who killed Sayaka. I think I'm good, Bryce. I'm gonna be trying my best to play this with my own mind. We'll have to collect clues to form a foundation, then construct an argument to come to a final decision. If we get this wrong...
So...
Well, do I really have to say anymore?
Actually...
I'd rather you didn't know.
Goodbye.
Everyone, pray for good luck. With that, Kyoko hurried out of the gym.
Goodbye.
I'll be going too. The two people that I trust are not killers at all! Just left me alone in a room full of people who probably are killers. Crap! And just like Kyoko, he was gone before we realized it.
Yo.
Oh yeah, I'm on guard duty, huh? I better head to the scene of the crime. Ah, that's right.
Hey, damn it.
Let me just say this right now. If whatever son of a bitch did this here right now and they're thinking of destroying that evidence, everyone do remember that because this game uses language, I will use the same language. Especially when I'm saying what the characters themselves say. I can't really avoid it.
You're fucking dead.
They better not let me find them, or I'll skip the trial and cave their goddamn skull myself. I'm serious, I will fuck them up! Letting his deadly words hang in the air, he and Sakura ran off.
So,
But, I mean, we're not detectives or anything. I like to think of myself as a wonderful detective lady. You know, and we're gonna investigate a murder? How do we even do something like that?
Anyway...
We don't really have to do anything in particular. We already know who killed Sayaka. There's always gonna be a trash-talking guy in the group. There's always gonna be a trash-talking guy. There's no escaping it. What are you implying over there?
This is very suspicious.
It was you. I'm telling you it wasn't me. You have no evidence to the contrary except for that she was in my room. Guess what? Lots of people can kill other people in their rooms. Don't come any closer. Are you gonna kill me next?
So,
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to give it a shot. It's not for sure that Makoto's guilty yet. That's true. We may as well at least check just to check. You! I feel like you're gonna die at some point. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't help but investigate. Wait, why not? I am not good with blood. All it takes is one glimpse and I black out. Yeah, screw you, try again, people.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, whatever. I don't think anyone was expecting much from you anyway. I'm keeping my eye on you, Leon. I'm keeping my eye on you. Alright, I guess I better get going. Wait, don't go yet. You have to hear me out. But it was pointless. Everyone had already left. And their parting looks at me had still been filled with suspicion. Oh, yeah? I'm gonna break you up. There ain't gonna be any suspicion when I'm done with you people. Does everybody really think I'm the killer? How did it turn out like this? Seriously, they've got it all wrong. Why do they have to suspect me? I have to do something. Otherwise, everyone will...
Execution is... execution. Execution!
Execution is bullshit, you bear!
Electric chair fire. Bzz, bzz, poison gas. Torn apart like a paper plane in a hurricane.
Screw you! I can't let that happen! I will not let you get executed, Makoto, because that means I failed. Could I be the killer? Obviously not. I can't let things turn out the way Monokuma wants. All I have to do is find out who really did it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hunch, hunch. Who really killed Sayaka? Okay, so there's 2 of them still in this room. But, I guess I should look through the Monokuma file we got before. The victim was Sayaka Maizono. The time of death is estimated to be around 1:30 a.m. The body was discovered in Makoto's room, in the dormitory. All evidence suggests that the death took place in the bathroom. The cause of death was a stab wound to the abdomen. There was also an injury to her right wrist. Specifically, the wrist appears to have suffered a fracture. So someone grabbed her before stabbing her and injured her that way. So she probably hid in the bathroom after they had grabbed her. That would be my guess. We have no choice but to push forward if we want to find out what happened. Somehow I have to find out the truth, so that we can all survive. As for Sayaka, I have to find out how she was killed! Monokuma File 1 has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Okay, I'm gonna exit here. Not that! Leave the gym. We're going to my room! I need to see the scene of this crime! Oh, grabbing can cause a lot of damage. It really just depends on how much force you put into the grab. Also, it makes all the guys so much more suspicious as well as Sakura because you really do have to have that kind of strength. First of all, I should head to the scene of the crime, my room. We won't make any progress without investigating there. So I headed to my room where Sayaka's corpse still remained. I'd better examine the state of my room a little closer. I would hope you examine the state of your room a little closer. It might reveal something new. Lint roller. That would be like the first thing I could imagine somebody using to clean up evidence. However, looking at the lint roller, it looks like there's way less than there was before. Did Sayaka see how dirty my room was and decide to clean up a little? No, she didn't, Makoto! God! I wonder why my sword's on the ground. This is the replica sword I brought back for self-defense. Does this mean it was used in the attack somehow? And plus, it's been taken out of its sheath. I hadn't actually looked at the blade itself till now, but I shouldn't be surprised it's coated in gold too. On top of that, some of the gold coating has come off in parts of the blade and the handle. Yeah, the handle especially is missing a lot of its coating. So someone has gold on them. I remember the coating sticks to you even if you touch it just a little bit. Replica sword has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Key. Yes, Bryce. V3 is exactly why we're going back into playing this. It's coming tomorrow, and I don't want it to wait in my lovely pile of games that still need to be played for a long time. If I remember correctly... that's right. We'll have to trade keys. When we switched rooms, we switched keys too. So Sayaka would have had the key here in my room the entire time. But wait, if that's true then, how did the killer get into this room in the first place? Could Sayaka have forgotten to lock the door? Or did somebody invite her own killer? I'm gonna laugh if you invite your own killer. No, that seems impossible. The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone! Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching? I don't know. Pile of games? I have at least 6 games that I haven't touched, ever, that I still need to play. And then there's a bunch of games that I need to continue and finish, mainly Echoes, but that involves me recording footage, which involves me having my computer set up, which is why we're playing this, because my PS4 doesn't need that. After saying that, there's no way she would have forgotten to lock it or opened it for any reason other than to invite someone in who she invited over for some reason. Actually, how did nobody... Now that I'm thinking about it, how did nobody know this was my room before it was in the file? Didn't you all come with me to the room? Wouldn't you have known it was my room? I didn't check that. Maybe she dropped the key somewhere and someone else grabbed it or something. No, that's not possible either. Sayaka was in here when we switched rooms. And with how scared she was, she wouldn't have gone walking around, so she couldn't have dropped it. So how did the killer... Switching room has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Alrighty. Oh, there's my sheet. This is the replica sword I brought back for self-defense. And plus the sword's take out the sheet, huh? Some scratches on the sheath. They must have been made with something sharp. But how'd the sheath get scratched up in the first place? Even if someone used the sword during the struggle, it doesn't make sense for the sheath to be damaged. Unless somebody had a knife fight with the sword. I mean, if you're going to attack someone with the sword, the first thing you do is unsheath it. The heavy sheath like this would only get in the way. It could just slide off in the middle of the fight. So why are there scratches on the sheath? I'm guessing somebody used it? As I said? Holy crap, what the hell is that? So this place the sword was on. Oh, it must just be a shadow. I don't know why. The toolkit is still in the drawer. I don't see any evidence that it's been used at all. Which makes sense, I guess. I mean, it's mine and I haven't had any reason to open it. I can't even imagine a situation where I need a toolkit like this.
Yo.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, Mondo.
What?
We ain't exactly in the mood to be building fucking furniture, right? So you haven't used yours either, then?
What?
Not just me.
What?
Nobody's busted theirs out yet, as far as I know. Actually, we were talking about it yesterday.
By the way.
None of the guys have opened their toolkits yet, because it's like, why the hell would we? I don't know! Wait a minute. Oh, wait, I do know! To open my stupid bathroom! Because that is actually very interesting. Because if you don't know that the bathroom needs to be opened a specific way, you would think that you need a toolkit to get it open because it's stuck. I can actually imagine this. Now I have some scratches on the floor. There are scratches and gouges on my walls and bed. Is that evidence of a struggle? It looks like there must have been some kind of fight in my room. Damn it, I was right there in the other room. If I'd only heard something. Wait. That would not have been possible. Huh? Don't you remember? All our rooms are completely soundproof. So something could have happened in the room right next to you and there's no way you could have known.
Well.
Perhaps this was another of Monokuma's strategies, creating an ideal setting for murder. Ah-ha-ha! What is it, Biz? Looking at the floor? Obviously I'm looking at the floor! The floor is mainly right in front of me! I care more about that! Evidence of a struggle has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay. For anything else, I need to investigate my room. Hi, Mondo! You know, I realized something while I was on guard duty. The killer could have already destroyed some evidence before, right? Before anybody found the body, I mean. There's a trash room here in the dorms, right? They could have tossed out some stuff in there. Well, that makes my life so much worse. Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely possible.
You son of a bitch!
That dirty bastard! Anyone who raises their hand against a woman is scum that deserves death! That's what my brother taught me. If you end up being a killer to one of the girls later on, I'm going to laugh at you for that line right there.
You're fucking dead.
So if I ever find the son of a bitch that did this, I'm gonna pound his goddamn face in. But what if it was a girl that did it? Soundproof rooms! How convenient!
Yo.
That'll all get sorted out when the time comes. That's hilarious. Hi, Kyoko. I'm talking to you. Hey, Kyoko? I quietly recalled her name while she was investigating the area, but...
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, a moment where I don't have to talk for
Isn't
him.
it obvious? No, not really. I'm searching. Searching?
Searching for what? She was down on her knees, carefully inspecting every inch of my
Did you
room.
lose a contact or something?
She's investigating, you idiot! I don't know what she's doing exactly, but she seems concentrating pretty hard on it. But a few seconds later, she suddenly stood up straight
Listen.
and said, "Are you a clean freak?" Huh? No, I don't think so, but what? Wait a minute. Nodding, she glanced around my room one more time.
I see.
Interesting. What's interesting?
Hey,
Just as I suspected, there's something very unusual about your room. I'm sorry? What is that? Unusual? What do you mean unusual?
so...
I've searched your floor from one corner to another, and I didn't find one single strand of hair. Really?
Indeed.
Not one hair from the victim and not one hair from you, even though you've been living in here. See? Someone used my lint roller! You know, now that you mention it, I noticed something while I was looking around before. It looks like the lint roller in my room had been used, but I never touched it. Could someone have used it
I
to...
see.
Very interesting. Your room didn't have a single hair in it, and someone used your lint roller without your knowledge. In other words, someone other than you came in and scrubbed your room clean. Bum, bum, bum! Was it Sayaka or the killer?
Well,
That's the question, isn't it? Makoto's room cleanliness has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Alright, I'm going into my bathroom. The bathroom. And the other side of this door... Ah! That looks so much creepier and negative. No, I can't let it get to me. I can't afford to freeze up now. Forcing myself to push my panic down, I stepped into the bathroom. Creepy. Looking at her made it painfully clear it wasn't a dream or an illusion. She had lost everything that made her her. Sayaka. All at once I was overcome with dizziness, nausea, and the urge to burst into tears. But I can't hesitate now. Why? Why did Sayaka have to die? Because obviously she was the person you were getting the most attached to. Obviously that's the first person you kill off. I have to uncover the truth. I have to find out what happened. I have to know, damn it! I want to give up. I wanted to collapse, but then the thought held me up and supported me. Whoa, what is that? Did you leave me a dying message? I looked past Sayaka to the wall behind her. And there I saw... Yes! Oh, you son of a yes! Oh! To anybody who's not realizing, that's land written upside down! A win! Written in blood were the numbers. It's gonna try telling me that these are numbers, but I see the fact that that's an N. I'm sorry. You can try to lie to me all you want, but sense! Did Sayaka do this? Sense! No, I didn't want that! I was trying to look at the body! I told myself I simply couldn't face what I saw, but... Yeah, easiest try ever! It's right there in front of me! I told myself I couldn't face what I saw, but now's no time to think like that. I pulled out the Monokuma file to verify what it said about her body. Some sort of sharp object had been thrust into her stomach. That must have been the killing blow. But whatever they used to kill her, where'd they get it? That's definitely something I should look into later. Also, according to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's right wrist is broken. Her wrist does look swollen and bloody, that's for sure. But there's something sort of glittery on her wrist, too. Oh, so somebody hit her with the sword. Interesting. That makes sense. so much more suspicious. Because if they had a knife to kill her, why did they hit her with a sword? The questions now. This doesn't look like just a straight up homicide. Right there, where her wrist is all swollen, there's something glittery. That definitely concerns me. Another thing that concerns me is, there's some blood on her left index finger, but that's it. The palms of both her hands are totally spotless, so how come it's only on her left finger? 'Cause she wrote it! Sayaka's wrist has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. A stab wound on her stomach is what killed her, so when she broke her wrist, that must have happened earlier on. I mean, how would her wrist get broken if she'd already been killed? So it's very possible that she broke her wrist during the struggle. The killer attacked Sayaka in the main room, which was when her wrist got broken. After that, the killer cornered her in the bathroom, where they inflicted the deadly wound. I'm leaving. That's it. I think I'm good. Leaving that.
It would seem...
It looks like you found it, right, Makoto? The bloody numbers that are most likely Sayaka's dying message. Yes? I've never seen something written in blood before. It really was her final message? It's as if she wrote it with life itself.
Right.
Do you often talk like an aspiring poet? Yes! But the numbers she wrote, what do they mean? They're not numbers! How are you even that blind? 11037. I have no idea what that could possibly mean.
So...
The way she wrote the numbers makes me think she wanted to use her body to block them. If she wrote them in that location while she was sitting the way we found her, it means she must have wrote them by turning only her hand towards the wall. If you were to write something in that position, do you know what the result would be? They'd be upside down! The result?
Well...
Think about it. You're not gonna tell me?
Makoto.
You need to uncover the mystery of this case yourself. Otherwise, the case will end and you'll remain unconvinced. I know! I've solved it already! I have no idea what you're trying to say, but it's obvious you're not gonna tell me. The Japanese can read some English, but still. I don't get how you don't see the fact that there's a connecting line between those two ones to where that's obviously an N. That 3 does not look like a 3. It's so Leon that I'm laughing. Dying message has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. It sounds like Kyoko knows what Sayaka's dying message means, but honestly I have no idea. Oh, I know what I should talk to. When it comes to numbers, who better to ask than the ultimate programmer?
Makoto.
There's only one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Do you know how the door to your bathroom got broken? Broken? Oh, you mean how it gets stuck?
What?
Gets stuck? Yeah, I guess I'm the only one, but the door doesn't fit the frame quite right. When I first tried to use it, I thought it was just locked. But once you learn the trick, it opens no problem. Bathroom door frame has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Bum, bum, bum!
Correct.
So the door doesn't quite fit the frame, huh? But actually, I'm referring to the broken doorknob. Huh? The doorknob?
That's right.
You didn't notice? We'll try closing the bathroom door. I'm sure you'll see right away what I'm talking about. I did what Kyoko said and shut the bathroom door. Oh my goodness! The doorknob. What the heck? The doorknob's practically about to fall off, so somebody use their toolkit! Leon, I'm gonna get you! Why is it like this?
It would seem...
Someone must have used a screwdriver or something similar to unscrew it. Whatever it was, obviously this was intentional. What? It was intentional? Why would someone want to do that?
So...
I guess maybe they were trying to get into the door unlocked and ended up breaking the whole thing. But my bathroom doesn't have a lock on it. Only the girls' bathrooms can unlock, right? She stood there for a while, lost in thought. Then apparently struck with a sudden realization, she shouted a question at me.
Just a second.
I have one more question for you. You mentioned earlier that your bathroom door would get stuck, right? Did you tell anyone about that? Oh, Well, I did tell Sayaka about it last night when we switched rooms. So what you're saying is only you and Sayaka knew about it. Interesting. She had the slightest hint of a smirk on her face. I got the sense that she was really starting to get into all this.
I see.
Then that clears that up. Huh? What clears what up? I'm so lost.
Goodbye.
Well, see you later. As if forgetting I was ever even there, she suddenly turned and left the room. Bathroom doorknob has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I still don't really understand any of this, but I've already given my room a good once over. I should look somewhere else. I should start looking into where the murder weapon might have come from, and also, I should look into the DVD that Sayaka got. With Sayaka dead, I have no choice but to see for myself what was in that video. And on top of that, I'm sure there are some other areas worth checking out too. Maybe I should see what everybody else thinks if they'll even talk to me, that is. I don't want to talk to either of you two, so let's leave. Leave the area. I'll leave. Huh? This is definitely my room, but the nameplate has Sayaka's name on it. Huh? This is Sayaka's room, right? But the nameplate has my name on it. The nameplates on my room and Sayaka's room were switched? So all that effort I put into switching rooms without anybody knowing was totally pointless. But why would anyone do that? Dorm nameplates has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Yeah, we're stopping at people's private life because a murder happened. That allows you to do jack everything. Alright, but I think we need to go and look at that trash room. Where is the trash room? I don't know my way around. That's why I'm very happy that there's a map. Okay, nope. Trash room's gotta be up here. And I just missed it. That's laundry. Oh, there it is. At the top part where there's a trash can that I was totally ignoring. Nope, just people I don't want to talk to right now. What the? There's a sturdy gate here, no way to get past.
Monokuma, appear!
It's the end of the line! The trash room, this is where all the trash of the school eventually winds up. How do you get this gate open?
No, you can't go any further!
No entry beyond this point. Only the person on cleaning duty is allowed in. Ah! Doesn't that just seem so much more suspicious? Hello, Cameron! Welcome! Cleaning duty?
No, you can't go any further!
Okay. Who's on cleaning duty?
No, you can't go any further!
This is stupid. It'd be faster to just go around and ask the others.
No, you can't!
Cleaning duty has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. So they couldn't have thrown anything in the trash room. Unless they are the one on cleaning duty. Alright, we're gonna go into Sayaka's room so we can get that DVD. Which character I want to go to? I'm avoiding everyone right now. Oh, which character would I talk to? I talk to him! Because he's the only one I can think is not actually a murderer. there's two people who I'm positive are never going to be murderers in this game. That's him and Kyoko, and I don't want to talk to them right now. So... Alright, we're gonna go into Sayaka's room, which says my name on it right now. Because, ha ha ha, funny meme. And we're gonna get the disc. There can only be one thing in the trash can. Yep, the DVD with Sayaka's name on it. Sayaka got really upset after seeing whatever was in that video. I wonder, what did she see? I might not be directly related to the case, but it might be worth checking out anyway. I'm sorry, Sayaka. I need to borrow this DVD. And, yeah, we're gonna leave the room. What you doing outside Junko's room? I'm looking for whoever's on cleaning duty. Cleaning duty? As a matter of fact, that's me. Oh! Why do you ask? It just so happens that Monokuma talked to me yesterday and asked me to take care of it. Without someone on cleaning duty, the school would be flooded with trash in no time. We already know it's Leon, so it's obviously not you, but oh god, does that make you suspicious for other things that will happen later down the line? I was gonna start this morning, but after what happened, I haven't had a chance to get started. And since you're on cleaning duty, you can open the gate in front of the trash.
Here we go.
Of course! It's my job to gather up all the garbage and toss it in the trash room. And to do that, they gave me the key for the trash room gate. But we're supposed to rotate once a week, so eventually you'll be in charge.
Very strange.
Wait, hold on. You need a key to get into the trash room? And the only person on cleaning duty has access to the keys? Yes, Byakuya! What's the point of going through all that trouble? Why not just leave the trash room open all the time so we can throw things out whenever we want? That does seem more convenient. I decided to stream today, Cameron, because the third game because V3, the next game in this series, comes out tomorrow. And I don't want it to be on my pile of games that I need to continuously play.
So in other words...
Actually... anyone who kills a fellow student becomes black and will graduate unless they are discovered.
So that's it.
That must be why. It's to help us not have them be easy enough to allow them to get away so easily. If anyone could go in and out of the trash room whenever they wanted, then destroying evidence would be easy. The thrill would disappear and things would become boring. Boring?
Hey, listen.
Anyway, more important than... Where did you come from? You my murder suspect!
Hey, you bastard.
Hey, Fatty! Why'd you want the cleaning duty gig anyway? You're making yourself so much more suspicious right now, Leon.
Oh,
I just decided to volunteer for something I knew no one else would want to do. What's the big idea?
You...
Liar, I know why you did it.
Is it like...
You want to dig through all the girls' trash, looking for you know, and poking around at it.
there's no way to think about this in a
What are you
common
talking about?
sense kind
All
of way.
my love is for 2D. 2D
You know what I
girls
mean.
for him. Although technically all the girls in here are 2D, so dude, you're still in that pile. But there's like all kinds of trash diggers like that. Maybe you get tired of the 2D, then turn to... I get tired of 2D! After spending a significant amount of time comparing 2D and 3D, I voluntarily chose 2D. The only thing 3D is good for is to shower love and affection on 2D. Oh, and PVC figures.
Give me a break.
How are you not totally embarrassed to say stuff like that? If you're worried about Hifumi's questionable morality, there's an easy solution. Whenever a guy has cleaning duty, Sakura can accompany them from picking up the trash to disposing of it. What?
What?
If you're innocent as you claim, where's the harm in it? This is not how it's supposed to. Anyway, on another topic. Hifumi, since you were on clean duty, I have a favor to ask you. What? So now you suddenly want to join my party? Sorry, but you haven't triggered that flag yet. I mean, you haven't helped me recover from my past trauma, or save a village, or beat a boss. Shut up. You just found out I played Persona 5, Cameron. Shockingly enough, Cameron, the that involves so much editing of footage because I beat Persona 5. I beat it and I continuously played and continuously recorded, and then there's some, it'd be a lot of editing to make sure you guys could see that footage without it being a whole 72, I think, hours is my gameplay. Nobody wants to see that whole footage, so it's a lot of editing. If I have time, I might release at least one more episode, but unless I want to do like a New Game Plus stream, that would be the only thing I'd do with Persona. But no, nothing like that. I was just hoping to get into the trash room and look around. Oh, okay. So easy? So Hifumi and I headed down to the trash room. You'd like me to open the gate, wouldn't you? You know, when I look at it, it makes me think. It makes you think what? What the hell could you be thinking? They said he killed his wife. He learned how to get by on the inside, but never stopped dreaming. Get busy living or get busy dying, he said. So him and Rita, they found themselves a way. What are you talking about? Yeah, probably not, Coma. I'd have to edit a lot of episodes, and it'd be very slow. I could do it, but it'd be very slow, and I most likely wouldn't want to. With how many other games are coming out in the rest of the year. Whatever. Please just hurry up. Okie dokie, leave it to me. Hifumi pulled out a key out of his pocket and used it to flip the switch next to the gate. And then...
Mr. Naegi!
However, Mr. Naegi...
Without a doubt.
Surely you aren't planning to use the trash room to destroy evidence, are you? You fiend! You planned this all along! I haven't done dilly squat, dude! No. I just wanted to see if the actual killer tried to destroy any evidence or not. But the actual killer is you, isn't it? You want to see if you left anything behind. Wait, maybe a parallel world? Whatever. Let's just hurry up and keep looking. There are shards of broken glass scattered around in front of the incinerator. It looks like it used to be some kind of glass ball. It's just about big enough to fit in the palm of your hand.
Is this perhaps?
Yeah, is that? Do you know what this is? They say if you collect L7... Dude! Dragon Ball reference! There's my anime reference. Kidding aside, it's kind of thing you might see on a big city street corner. Gaze into it and it'll show you a glimpse of the future. Just like that Mina girl who has that quest to find that one guy. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say, but who did this particular ball belong to? There's only one person it could be. They should still be in the gym. I better find out for sure. Shattered crystal ball has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I see something left out! There's something on the ground in front of the incinerator. It looks like a burnt piece of something. A burnt piece? Like a hunk? Like a hunk of burning love? ... Anyway, it looks like a piece of cloth, and the shape, it's part of the sleeve with a button-up shirt. And now that I look at it, that's definitely blood on the cuff, which means... this is all that's left of some of the evidence the killer destroyed. But there are lots of people here with a white button-up shirts. This isn't enough by itself to figure out who the killer is. But that and a ball that's basically the size of a baseball, it's so adding up to be Leon. Easiest case ever. I don't know if there's anything there. Let's examine the incinerator. This is the incinerator. It's away in the back part of the trash room. It's a good 30 feet from here to the gate. And it's on right now. Do you see the green and yellow buttons next to the mouth of the incinerator?
Yes, indeed.
It's a pretty simple setup. You press the green button to get it going and the yellow button to turn it off. Sooner or later, you'll be on cleaning duty, so make sure you learn this before you leave, okay? Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on. Very very strange. I'm quite certain it was off last time I was down here.
Was it a fairy?
Yes, it was the work of a fairy. What the hell do you think a fairy did that? Do you realize what you just said? Huh? The fairy? No, you just said the last time you were in here, the incinerator was off. Yes. About that, there is no mistake. If I've got one thing going for me, it's my memory.
I feel as if...
Yesterday, as I was appointed, I came down to check the place out. It definitely wasn't on then. I haven't been back to the trash room since. And since I'm the only one who has the key to open the gate...
Most suspicious.
It should be impossible for the incinerator to be on yet. So that means someone was able to switch the incinerator on without opening the gate. By throwing a glass ball! Genius! It was so easy! Oh! But how is that possible? Incinerator has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. This whole thing is quite strange indeed. When I was here last, the incinerator was off, and those glass shards and burnt clothes weren't here. What does this all mean, Mr. Naegi? Will you be confessing soon? Why me? Everyone already knows you did it. All the mysteries are being solved one by one. Nobody knows that I did it. You suspect that I did it. Suspecting and knowing are two different things, buddy. It sounds like he's living out one of his comic book fantasies. I'm leaving and heading to the dining room. Who's in here? Just you. Well, great. Hi, buddy. Hina, are you investigating the dining hall? Oh, no, I'm just taking a break. Actually, I've been taking a break since we started. This is all a first for me, you know? I don't have the first clue of what I should be doing. I know what you mean. And I don't know why, but being in the dining hall helps me keep me calm. So, you know, I also think she's also one of those at the top of people who I don't think are going to be killers. Kind of hanging around here. To tell the truth, I was doing the same thing last night when Sayaka was killed. Interesting. So you were in here. I want to enter the kitchen because that's where I think the murder weapon most likely came from. Where's the kitchen? Knives here, big to small, but it looks like one of them is missing. Was it missing from the very beginning, or... I'd better see if anyone here knows more about it. Kitchen knife set has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Bum, bum, bum! Alrighty. Yes? All I wanted to know was that there were knives in the kitchen and one was missing. Hey, so did you notice one of the kitchen knives is missing from the dining hall?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, weird, huh? I thought it was kind of strange, a knife suddenly disappearing like that. Okay, so it wasn't missing from the beginning.
That's right.
Nope, last I remember they were all lined up in a nice, neat row. So when did you notice one of them had disappeared?
Well,
I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back to the kitchen to wash my glass, when the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah. In other words, you were right there in the dining hall when someone came in and took it. Then you should be able to say for sure. You could tell everyone I didn't come to the dining hall last night. Which proves that I didn't take it. I'll win! No, I have not finished the English version of Spirit of Justice yet. I gotta do that. I try when I'm recording a game to not go beyond the game when I don't record. Otherwise, you get moments like Yokai Watch and Pokemon where I accidentally did that, and then I never have the chance to go back, and I don't want to show it to you. Always account has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I will be doing Spirit of Justice probably in October. I'm going to try to do the Apollo Justice in November when it comes out. The 3DS version, not my phone version, because my phone does not like Apollo Justice at all, and I don't like how the phone version works. I like how it looks, but that's about it. Hey, by the way, did you really kill Sayaka? What? Of course not! I would never! Tina, do you really think I murdered her?
I mean...
Well, she was killed in your room, right? So, I mean, you guys were supposed to be friends, right? But you still killed her. On the other hand, two people becoming good friends and one killing the other is a classic drama setup. So when you consider everything together, I honestly have no idea. Now I'm done talking to you. Let's go to the gym. Because there's someone who supposedly was supposed to have crystal balls. Oh, I don't know if he's missing them. Why does the gym have this? I know! I said I was going to have it done like a year ago! Trust me, I don't like that I've been holding this back. Hey, Hero, can I ask you something? No. I gotta get out of here. Gotta get out! I had enough! I gotta break free! Hero, snap out of it! Huh? Makoto, what are you doing here? What? Hey, does this look familiar? Ah! That's my crystal ball! But it's all smashed! What the hell?
What the heck?
I only brought it because the guy said it was blessed. He said it was unbreakable. So how did it break?
What?
Was it actually made of glass and not crystal? Did the guy totally dupe me? He said it belonged to the Pillars of History. Genghis Khan, George Washington, Napoleon. You got duped, buddy. I think it's his office. Yes, I think that's the Monokuma office. He said whoever controlled that crystal ball controlled the world. Was that seriously all BS? Let's put that aside for now. So you can say without a doubt that this belonged to you. Yeah, that's mine for sure. I probably forgot it in the laundry room last night. Someone must have come by and snatched it. You left it in the laundry room. That means anybody could have found it and taken it. Shattered Crystal Ball has been updated in the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Thanks, Hero. That's all I wanted to know. All I needed to know. I need to go to the AV room now, though. To watch that video. By the way, I'm almost afraid to ask, but how much did you pay for that thing? Everything I saved up from fortune telling for 2 full years? Came out to be like $1 million? $1 million! $1 million yen! For everybody who's not understanding what $1 million yen means, take away 2 zeros from $1 million. That's your US dollar version. I normally use a Elgato capture card, but I am streaming this directly from my PS4 because it's faster, and also I haven't set up my laptop yet, which is why the audio might sound a bit weird. I'm using a new headset for my PS4. But that's what I normally stream, and that's because there's certain games that you can't stream from your PS4 directly because certain companies like keeping things secret, but I can go around that normally with my Elgato. That's just too stupid. I can't even feel bad for him. Leave the gym. Yes. I need to go to the AV room to watch this video to know why she freaked out last night. Boo-boo. That is creepy. The nurse's office is creepy! I should be able to use this to see what was on the DVD. The DVD that Sayaka threw in the garbage. I sat down in front of the screen and put the DVD in the player. I pushed play and the screen was dark for a few seconds, but then an image slowly appeared. It looked like some kind of concert. And standing on stage, front and center, was a face I recognized all too well. Sayaka. She was there along with the friend she had been so important to her. She was positively glowing in front of the crowd, so full of life. Seeing that image made it even harder to accept that she was dead. My vision started to blur and darken, and then that voice I'd come to despise so much began to float out of the speakers.
Sayaka Maizono, the ultimate pop sensation, lead singer for a world-famous all-girl pop band. For these girls, the glowing spotlight only made them that much more beautiful. But then...
Suddenly the screen went dark. And then in the next moment, I saw something I could hardly believe. What the? Sayaka had disappeared from the stage, which was now in ruins. But what I noticed even more than that was the figures of the other girls who had simply collapsed.
This ultra-successful team suddenly fell apart. None of them will ever perform on stage again. None of them will ever feel the warmth of the spotlight.
This is, bad.
For Sayaka, there's simply nowhere for her to return to. So here's the billion-dollar question. What, oh what, could have caused the group to go to pieces?
I don't know, you crazy bear! Egg! Without warning, the video cut off. What the hell? That wasn't real, right? They're a super famous pop group. Everyone knows who they are. Is he trying to say he was even able to get to them? If that really did happen, everyone on the outside world must be going crazy. What kind of person would take things this far?
I'm getting tired of waiting. What say we just get started,
I don't know! I don't want to get started with Jack Diddley Squad!
It's time for the long-awaited class trial!
Screw you, Monokuma!
Now then, allow me to appoint a proper location for the proceedings. Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon!
Or maybe that was what the Monokuma thing was. The red door on the first floor? That's where I should go. Now, where I have to go. No, where I have to go. Bleh. Dun, 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 dun. Ah! You're late, Makoto! We've all been waiting for you! Well, screw you too! I bet you were afraid you would be discovered as the murderer you are! Screw you too, buddy!
Listen to me!
Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Save that for the class trial. There we can reveal the details of Makoto's crime. So they really are convinced I did it, but I didn't do it. Me and Sayaka both know that all too well. But then, who is the killer? I know who the killer is! The one who murdered Sayaka. Is it really one of us?
Is everyone here? Okay then. Please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fate will be decided.
Screw you, you evil bear!
I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
You're almost worse than a certain rabbit from a certain game that I ate! I guess I have no choice but to get on this elevator. Let us begin.
Yes, indeed.
Good idea.
Hey,
Are you scared? No, scared isn't quite right.
Makoto.
I said it before, but it's up to you to uncover the mystery surrounding this case yourself. If you don't, you'll never come to grips with the truth. I think I can come to grips with the truth if you let us spell out who the murderer is. But I already know, so I need to uncover the truth of Sayaka's death. I didn't need someone else to tell me to do that. In Sayaka's honor, I swear I'll find out who the real killer is. I already know, Makoto. As I raised my voice to try and give myself courage, I turned trembling with anticipation towards the elevator. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. Everyone else was already on the elevator. When I finally stepped on, the doors closed and the elevator started to move. Now that's just ominous. No problem, Cameron.
Oh,
Rather than that, is it not more like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment? Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived! Ta-da! What do you think? Doesn't it feel just like a real courtroom? No. No, it does not. It's like a Hollywood movie set, right?
Shit.
Not even close. It's total shit.
Well now.
Okay. Everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up now, hurry up. We did what you said and found our seats. Well, that's just disturbing. The seats were arranged in a giant circle. It was set up so that everybody could see everyone else, which also meant it'd be easy for anyone to transfer their attention and unease to anyone else. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. And so the curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, and a deadly fate. Fate. What the hell is up with you saying deadly every 5 seconds? Like, goddamn, can you not do that? A deadly class trial? Ba-blam! Yeah, we might, if we can get through chapter 1, we might take a break for an hour and then come back. Do you want to save data? Yes! Open the handbook. Okay, so these are all my truth bullets. I think I get what I'm supposed to do, but at the same time. That's just the regulations. Do I have presents? Nope! I had nothing! 114 of nothing! I need to get more skills. I mean, look at that! I have 2 skills! Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. I feel like we're in for a trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
I hate you, Monokuma.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one...
I already know who done it! Don't explain it to me, you bear!
Then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Screw you!
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Oh, it's actually spoken!
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
I like how this part is fully voiced.
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
Yeah, I was wondering too, because that's creepy.
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16
Wait
seats?
a minute. Does that mean that there were actually 16 students in the class and we never met the 16th? That's creepy! That's massively
no
creepy!
reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people.
Oh, Bear, you lying piece of crap! That ain't it!
Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me. Everybody's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Yes! As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It is up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant... Stop it! Truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to aim and fire with the triangle. Pay close attention to each character's statements and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that as you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the options button during these arguments, you can review the controls. Thank God I can review controls, because that's confusing. Well then, good luck and have fun. Make your argument. Evidence of a struggle.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already. And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
What? There's something odd about that last statement, and I definitely know it contradicts what I already know. In this debate, we'd like to take a quick sidebar. If you are unable to spot or refute someone's lies or contradictions, an argument will repeat. Within a group of statements, some words appear in different colors, which you haven't noticed. That represents a potential hole in a person's statement, a possible weak point. I clicked I clicked it! Why didn't it? Your truth bullets are only effective against these weak points. So if you see them come up, take aim and fire, but only if you're sure it's actually wrong. Good luck.
I assert that the one who was murdered...
Yeah, and the murder took...
In the bathroom. So it seems the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
What? I don't know how to work this thing! How do you work this?
I assert that the one who was murdered...
Yeah, and the murder took place...
Hold on. Choose the wrong statement. Concentration. Okay. So.
It's in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that...
Why is it not letting me reload them?
The killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
I don't get what this game is having a problem with. It's not letting me load the
I
truth
assert that the
bullets.
one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Yeah, we know that part already.
Why is it not letting
And the
me?
murder.
Is it? Controls. Okay, so L is to aim. Yeah, I'm trying to. You're not letting me shoot.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
I don't get how this works. I might have to actually retry this. It's not working.
I assert that the one who was murdered.
And the murder took...
In the bathroom. So it seems most like the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Why is it not? I'm trying to shoot on that, but it's not highlighting like it.
I assert that the one
This
who
is
was
annoying the hell out of me.
In the
I don't
bathroom.
appreciate
The
that.
killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, it's wrong.
Finally! I don't get why that wasn't working before.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was
I
a
gotta
struggle.
aim at the sentence? Okay. Ah, that makes so much more sense.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Make your argument.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had on her.
No, it's wrong.
Okay, now that we know how this works. Thank you, Zeta, for being so helpful.
I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
Yeah, some of the voices are going to be different from the anime. The anime used a lot more of the actors that are at Funimation, since Funimation is headquartered in Dallas. This game was completely recorded in LA, so there's obviously going to be a difference in certain voice actors. Also, certain voice actors were union actors who can't do certain voice work that Funimation requires. So there's a lot of differences that you can tell between certain shows. Funimation tries their best to get as many as they can, but there's certain voice actors that they just aren't able to get. I know this from multiple times that I've seen Funimation having to do different voice actors.
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
That's creepy.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
Screw you!
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
I like you, Kyoko!
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
I love how everyone is stupid and nice one said it. Yeah, everyone's stupid and doesn't know anything during this first trial. She's right. There's got to be some breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Yes! You can concentrate by holding down on the R1 button. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak points. Concentrating like this will consume the focus gauge, and if the gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. No need to rush except for the fact that we got a time limit on our hands! Well then, good luck and have fun. Make your arguments.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall. And then he went and stabbed Sayaka with it.
So you really did do it.
I missed it. I want a rewind button. I want a rewind button.
We've reached the end.
I didn't take the kitchen knife. If only there were proof.
So I guess there's no question at the kitchen, but where does that...
Makoto must have taken it from he did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall.
No, that's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
I love you, Makoto, because I make you smart. Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall, but I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Screw you! No! Screw you!
Idiot swimmer girl!
Oh!
Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So that's stupid! You wouldn't... There's no point in being the accomplice!
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule.
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
I love the bear!
Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife. So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
I'm going to say
Hina seems
something
the obvious
shocking.
candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
Hi, Leon!
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
Or at least you got airtight alibis with one another.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night
They're
together?
2 girls!
It's unwholesome!
They're 2 girls, dude! I love him because he slipped and he made it so much easier for these people to accept me.
I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh,
Oh, yeah!
that's
When I
true!
imagine Sakura, I
One
imagine
other
somebody
person
with
did
pink
come
hair.
to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you talking
Sayaka.
about?
She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was Sayaka!
Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen.
No assuming genders, it's 2017! Yes, Zeta! That is the point!
As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water.
Although I don't get
Most
why you would
likely.
think that's a man when that person wearing a skirt and still has breasts and still somewhat looks a little bit feminine by the
The person who
eyes.
took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
No, I'm starting to think that she planned something.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
Damn it! You took away my alibi!
See? He did do it after all.
Screw you!
No, you're wrong.
What the heck off?
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction?
Oh, screw off! Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die!
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that
I
Makoto is
love
the
you,
killer,
Kyoko!
wouldn't you say?
Kyoko is bae, okay? Kyoko is bae!
Because you see,
God,
if the
best
room
girl.
did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there.
Hair!
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Mimi? Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. Hold on 1 second. I gotta go watch what my dog's doing, because she's starting to bark. Sorry about that, guys. It looks like some people were trying to open the gate to the back of my house, and my dog was warning me. She was warning me that somebody was trying to get into our gate. Apparently they lost a ball, and they don't know where it went. Okay, as things advance further in the cause trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Okay. Hair is what I think this is. Use the left stick to aim and press the triangle button to shoot the desired letters. ... If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. If this gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun. Something that shouldn't have been at the scene, but wasn't, that must be the critical point. We can just figure out what that something is. I don't like this. Hangman's Gambit. I shot that. I don't like that.
That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
Yeah, that was definitely scary while playing this game. I'm glad I have a dog that scares people away and is very attentive. She doesn't like people going in her territory, so she was very good. That's right, there wasn't a single hair on the floor.
The culprit removed some evidence?
Yes, and if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No, it doesn't!
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
Yes!
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
I like how she's trying to walk Makoto through this, and I'm like, I don't need you walking me through this. I already know everything. Yeah, it's the doorknob. Oh, wait, did I not press the doorknob? Okay, so I needed to press the door. Oh, it was... I pressed the door frame.
I got it!
Not the doorknob.
Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room?
She's such a mom while holding her hand through this.
But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop. I don't want to know everything because you're confusing as a game. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in a debate. No shit, Sherlock! What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they say, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Whoever says that the bathroom door locks, that's a lie, because it's my bathroom door, it doesn't lock. Well then, good luck and have fun. Make your argument!
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit had Sayaka.
Finish the job.
It was you! We already know the answer.
I thought I had hit it on time, and no, I didn't. Okay, so now I know where it is.
The incident took place in
Makoto's with Sayaka was first, she then fled into the...
Then the killer ran after, and they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and because Sayaka had locked it. No!
Break!
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
You little...
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be.
I love that we're using the bear to our own defense.
But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door...
It was bad to good, okay? Let
lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
Thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime. Something the killer didn't know. For some reason, they were convinced the door was locked. Which means the important detail the killer didn't know is that the crime took place in my room.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then...
Yep, it's so lucky we're not dead right now!
Then there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
Yes!
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
Dude, this is not a video game. Well, it's a video game for me.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Screw you! No, we don't do that when our lives are on the line, douche!
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
That is a wonderful question.
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the
It's
key
still
somewhere
making
and the
me
culprit
think.
picked it up. That's
It's
possible,
still
right?
making me think that, Sayaka tried to get you into the room for some reason. I feel like she wanted to kill you first, and then you self-defended yourself. But at the same time, you killed her in a bathroom, which means that you obviously went after her by breaking down the door. So it seems like it's a double murder here. It was a double attempt. It was an attempted murder followed by a murder. That's my logic.
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Thank God.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
It's totally it. It's totally it, Makoto.
Trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
The reason there's no way Sayaka invited her killer into the room, I already have the answer.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
As for you, Sayaka, no matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone! They're gonna open your door! Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
Why
would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about, just the two of us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates and make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appear.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I'd better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room. Huh? Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't.
But of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Those! Sayaka wrote it!
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
I thought you said you were only into 2D girls, dude!
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me!
I'm saying it, and he contradicts
But
me!
can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
You say that!
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Oh! Rana, something. Make your arguments.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto...
No, that's wrong!
I got this right!
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
A legible signature! I think she means, like, there's actually, like, a signature name on it. I don't think they actually checked the handwriting, although, God, checking the handwriting should have been something you guys would have done.
Switched? That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
Sadly enough, it's Sayaka. There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates.
I got it!
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the
Being
nameplates had been
suspicious is
switched.
wonderful, Zeta. Always be suspicious.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
She was trying to blame me for something!
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Because there's gold on her wrist.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen, there's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
None of you are getting close to the truth. I'm the only one
Then
who
it's
knows the
about
truth.
time to solve this mystery.
Maybe Kyoko too, but I'm the one who knows the truth. What happened in my room, and what led to Sayaka's death, that's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about... Absolutely! Don't screw with me! Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? No, I'm not. Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. What the hell? I don't want that. Just like with the weak spots, only one of these bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the L1 button to rotate your cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the L1 button to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold down the L1 button to use the left stick to select a specific bullet. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Well then, good luck and have fun. Make your argument. Well, it's obviously gotta be, like...
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, it's wrong. Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you are going to attack with the sword, you take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
Because someone tried to defend themselves against a knife coming at
If
them.
they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse.
She says what I say! I am knowledge and she is my voice!
In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere.
No! Screw you and try again, you mother effing!
Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening.
Dude! Sayaka had the knife! End discussion! Go screw yourself!
So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword...
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Part of her mind that shows she never used the sword. Her
You're
palms!
talking about her palms, right?
Yes, my deduction skills are proven true by Kyoko. You're talking about her palms,
The
right?
palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
Screw you! Come on!
That's not it at all.
There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because the water was off.
According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Well, that's disgusting. We've been here for 3 days, lady.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big, fat, ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
That's creepy.
Insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The one who damaged the sheath would have had to have been the one without the sword.
got it!
Sayaka.
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What? Oh!
She took the knife from the kitchen,
I
then
already
invited the
suspected
culprit
this,
to the
but
room she
God!
was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation,
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Getting off topic, kids. Forget smells and remember the case. Yes,
Which brings
Senna.
up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms
She was gonna blame a murder on me. She was gonna blame a murder on me. It's always the ones you trust.
was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
I'm so destroyed.
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, and by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior.
Oh, you're totally and utterly correct, my Bianca. I can't really say anything against that.
I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Oh.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid, or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Your face is creepy as hell, lady. Creepy!
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
It's so ironic that people thought Naegi betrayed the girl, but it was the other way around, buddy! Yes, that is totally the fun fact about this. Wait, then you're saying...
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
No, it's true! It's hard to swallow, I get it, Makoto.
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
What kind of time limit you put it on here, buddy?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Oh, screw you! There's always something left! Die message. Okay.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Very well. Then let's review all the clues we've found up to this point one more time.
Do we really have to die?
Alright, I gotta retry that. I know what it is. That's right, there is still a clue left. Sayaka left it behind.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, it's wrong.
Screw you!
There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
How did you get dying? Dining from dying?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message. Left index finger.
Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean?
They're not numbers, you idiot!
1, 0,
She had to write it upside down!
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
I see all the meaning in these numbers, you idiot!
It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1, 1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1, 1, but... looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
It's not 037! Damn it, it's no use, I just don't know. I know! Can you let me answer?
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Huh? Rotate it? I think maybe I see something.
God.
No, I see
Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Kyoko!
You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it. So, whose name did she write?
Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. I should have gone the other way, shouldn't I?
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N, or more accurately, Leon.
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence.
Dude, you killed her. Shut up.
It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
Just dragging Makoto by the hand when I figured this out well before you did. I knew this all along. The evidence that Leon tried to get rid of. I know what it is. Come on. Shirt.
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
His shocked face, his angry face is also crazy.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
I seriously love how she's walking us through this. Although you're saying all the answers, lady.
Yeah, I think so.
The burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible. How it was disposed of, damn it!
If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either.
I love how he's so angry looking, but he's talking so calmly. This is either a mistake by the voice actor by not being angry while he's talking, or I'd say it's more the voice director for that line. Because look at that face! And listen to those words.
You need the key to get in, and the
they're
one with the
not
key
magic.
was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Not really.
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. And that's exactly what proves that Leon is the real killer. Shattered crystal ball.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order...
No, you don't die in a pit! I own you!
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
Well, he had to leave that shirt piece. He couldn't get into the room.
But if you can't get
Wink, wink,
past the
nudge,
gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball,
But how would you use it?
The killer had to use the glass ball in a certain way. Throw it.
The killer
Baseball
simply
star!
took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Very strange. I'm certain it wasn't off last time I was down here. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key, so the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Thank you!
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the
Wait, just
distance
hold
from
on.
the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small.
And baseball prodigy! Baseball-looking
Could
prodigy!
someone really do that?
Baseball
That's right.
prodigy!
There's no way. It'd be
Baseball
impossible.
prodigy! Baseball prodigy! Baseball prodigy!
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so.
It wouldn't have been much of a challenge at all for the killer because the killer was the ultimate baseball star!
Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious.
You got trapped!
I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear.
Alright! Let's do it!
And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
And this is in proof that you're the criminal and you get to go and face your punishment, buddy.
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered, and the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is, yes! What the hell? You didn't spring something. Every case has at least one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is the closing argument. In this phase, you will give a complete summary of the case. You'll have to reproduce the flow of events in the case in form of a comic book. However, you'll notice that the comic, there are a number of pieces missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at a missing section and press the X button, holy cow, you'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Well then, good luck and have fun. Closing argument. What? I don't get how this is supposed to work. Turn the plate by moving your reticle to the edge of the screen or by simply pressing the left or right directional buttons. Okay. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. It goes the other way. Okay. This one here. And what would have happened after that? Probably would be. Okay, so. I've gotten something out of order. The knife falling. What? I don't get. Hold on, I'm getting confuddled. I'm getting confuddled on how this works. Okay. Screwdriver. Okay, so that moment, she'd be writing the dying message, wouldn't she? There we go. Roller. The crystal ball.
Here's exactly what happened. I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, The killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room.
Oh, the headache!
From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them.
This is actually
She
pretty cool
attacked
that
them
this is
with the
comic
knife
book
she'd
style.
taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back.
I really like how this
During the
looks.
struggle, a
Okay,
strike
so
from the
yeah,
sword
because that moment
broke
already shows
Sayaka's
it. I
right
didn't have to
wrist.
do it, thank God.
And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I'd told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing. So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there, but the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he'd left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot. And that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed.
Wait, No, Cameron, he took off his own shirt because it was covered in her blood.
Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence.
Ah, you the killer! You the killer, buddy!
Isn't that right, Leon?
Complete!
It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it,
This is the first
right?
case that they're not gonna make it, so the death wasn't instant.
Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
Otherwise, they can be called an Ace Attorney copycat.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object!
Well,
I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
What? I have the evidence? Absolutely! I'm confuddled! Sometimes during a class trial, your opponent simply won't want to hear what you have to say. When this happens, you will engage them in a head-to-head battle. We like to refer to this as bullet time battle, aka BTB, BTW. During a bullet time battle, you want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. Match your button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen to reach the center. I'm confuddled. Okay, so that's the tempo marker. ... Press the X button to log on to an opponent's statement. Destroy the statement you've locked onto with the triangle button as the tempo marker reaches the center. Okay. ... Use this method to deal damage to your opponent. If you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. What the hell is this? Do this consecutively and you'll start a combo. Keep this going and you'll initiate a tempo up. This is, what the hell is this? On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get into a tempo down situation. When the tempo changes, so does the timing hitting of each button. So watch out for that. Deal enough damage to your opponent and their weak spot will appear. At that point, you can press the triangle button to shoot down with the truth bullet like any other statement. Refute their statement fast enough and you'll come out victorious. But just like before, if your influence gauge reaches 0 or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun. I don't get this.
When the killer broke the bathroom doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. So what did the killer use?
I know, it's a toolbox. What did the killer use to take part?
I refuse to acknowledge you. You're stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
And saying something like that is also stupid, 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 stupid.
Stupid, 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 stupid.
Idiot. I have to show indisputable evidence that Leon is the killer. I need to figure it out. I know what it is, but I'm so confused on how this game works.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. You lied. Shut up. Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. You lied. Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof?
I'm so confused on how this works!
Not a chance! You lied! Shut up! Stupid! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance!
I don't get how that works!
Yet.
Oh, that was so stupid. Okay, so apparently I gotta take down every one of his statements, press X, and then press triangle. I don't suck at rhythm games. I suck at this when I don't understand what it was trying to get me to do. Okay,
when
I
the
think I
killer
can do
broke
it.
the bathroom door, so what did the killer?
I refuse to acknowledge you. You're stupid, 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 stupid.
Let's try this. This is so stupid of a game. I'm not okay with this.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid! You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lied!
See, it's not the fact that it's a rhythm game, it's the fact that I gotta keep
Not a chance! It wasn't me!
and then triangle.
Stupid! You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lied! Shut up! Stupid! Here's your proof! You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lied! Shut up! Here's your proof!
Alright, I'm gonna try this again, hopefully. Please let me try again.
I refuse to give up yet!
Alright, we're gonna try this again. This is so stupid. I hate this thing. Let's go back over the rules. Okay, sometimes during a class trial, your opponent will simply not want to hear what you say. When this happens, you will engage them in a head-on-head battle. We would like to refer to this as bullet time battles, aka BTB. During BTB, you will want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. Match your button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen to reach the center. Press the X button to lock onto an opponent's statement. Oh, I have to press X also in time, which is stupid! Destroy the statement you've locked onto with the triangle button and the tempo marker reaches the center. Use this method to deal damage to your opponent if you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. If you do this consecutively, you'll start a combo. Keep this going and you'll initiate a tempo up. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get into a tempo down situation. If the tempo changes, so does the timing of hitting each button. So watch out for that. Deal enough damage to your opponent and the weak spot statement will appear. At that point, you can press triangle to shoot down on the truth bullet like any other statement. Refute their statements fast enough and you can come out victorious. But just like before, if your influence gauge reaches 0 or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun!
When the killer broke the bathroom doorknob, so what did the killer use?
Yeah, apparently you have to keep pressing X and triangle back and forth in time with the tempo, which is something I didn't get. I understood I had to triangle with the tempo, but I thought I could just keep pressing X and locking onto everything. Stupid.
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Alrighty, I think we can do this.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Shut up. Have to show indisputable evidence. Just need to get into the rhythm.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lied! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance!
I was in the zone and then I wasn't in the zone.
You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lied! Shut up! Stupid! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! You lied! your proof?
This should prove it.
Thank God! I was in the zone and I fell out of the zone because I'm not good with tempo changes.
The screws on the
good
bathroom
once I get a
doorknob
tempo.
were removed.
I don't like it when the tempo switched on me. Screws on the bathroom doorknob were
I
removed.
wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove them.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
That must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then
Yeah, at
whose
least I know what to do
toolkit
for
did the
next
killer
time.
use?
It's probably gonna be just as bad. It's probably gonna get worse.
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
He's so in denial.
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
We win! Oh, we win! I love that we win!
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
His face. Hey! Hey! 88 medals.
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection. Oh, just to remind you all,
Just to remind us all.
triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited!
He's like dead on the inside. He knows he got found out.
Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Monokuma vote. That's terrifying. Uh-oh, looks like you got it right on the money. Thank God! The blackened in this case is the one that killed Sayaka. Was none other than Leon Kuwata!
Huh?
He's so dead.
Hey, hold on.
Leon? Leon, did you really kill Sayaka? But I don't believe it.
You son of a bitch!
What the hell is wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
You broke down the door, buddy. I'm sorry. You still went after her after she got away.
So, that's why...
I killed her first.
None of you are any different!
None of you are any different. One wrong step and you would be the one standing here. It was a complete chance that I wound up like this.
I was just... unlucky. That's all.
Grr.
Hey! Come on!
You expect me to just accept my death? No, I expect you to freaking leave a situation after she gets away! Everything's become clear. The decision we made was right after all. But when I think about that, honestly, I'd be better off if we'd been wrong. Because if what we came up is really the truth, then that truth is that Sayaka was trying to frame me. But even if that's true, I can't say she was wrong. After all, the mastermind. It's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. If I was her and the video actually had something to do with me, I can't imagine. Now we're trapped here with no way out. They're probably waiting for me.
Why?
I can't afford to be stuck in here. The one thing that was more important to her than anything else, her dreams, her friends. To have to see something like that happen to them? And Sayaka? I did whatever it took to reach that dream. I mean it. Even some things weren't so pleasant. And that's why Sayaka, for the friends that meant so much to her, that's why she betrayed me. So when she said,
no matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
She was lying to me from the very beginning. She was using me. That's why she talked to me in the first place. I guess I'll never know. Because there's nothing I can do to ask what she was thinking. Once you're dead, that's it.
Boy howdy, the entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, huh? I mean, to try and kill someone just because of those relationships?
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
She seems so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside she's destined into pure madness.
What did you say?
I understand, really I do, yup. You're in utter despair thanks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Compassion, intimacy, love. The stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair when they collapse. Stop screwing with us! This is all your fault! Sayaka being forced to do something like that? All of it, everything! It's all your fault! Suddenly in a frenzy, I lunged at Monokuma. Dude! Don't lunge at him! You're already in trouble! But
that's enough.
As angry as I was, Kyoko latched onto my arm without hesitation. Her grip was like iron, strong enough I was sure it would leave a bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now. ... Damn it!
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Oh, that was a close one! I thought for sure you were gonna give me a good whooping! Just barely my punishment, you did!
Yes, indeed!
Now then, since you so magnificently revealed the identity of the killer during the class trial, the blackened Leon Kuwata will receive his punishment.
Punishment? You mean execution? Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice! I had to kill her! I'm sorry! No, you didn't! Screw you!
That's it?
Try again! Yeah, that's it! I was just protecting myself in the heat of the moment! It was self-defense!
Is that okay?
How exactly was it self-defense? When you forced your way into the bathroom, did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she'd shut herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to head back to your own room. Hold on 1 second, guys. Alright guys, sorry, my mother is back here. Then you came all the way back, broke into the bathroom, and killed her, am I wrong?
Understand?
You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you chose not to. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder?
So, that's
No,
why...
that's not... Stop it! I've had enough of this. Oh, are you sure? You were closer to her than anyone else, were you not? He killed your precious Sayaka, do you understand? I can't say Leon is solely to blame. Of course I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either, because Because the one to blame is him! Swear! If it weren't for you, this would have never happened to Sayaka or Leon. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting against the one who put us in this situation, the mastermind.
Unbelievable.
Oh no! Did you awaken your sense of justice?
Hey,
Well, it just so happens that there's nothing unethical and unwavering sense of justice. After all, it's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world. Is that kind of justice is awkward within you? Just shut up! Okay, well, anyway, more importantly...
Thrills, chills, kills!
Let's hurry up and get to whatever everyone's been waiting for, the punishment!
you, please, don't do...
Hey,
No more begging, no more excuses. You must pay the penalty for breaking the rules. Society demands it.
Stop, please!
now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Okay.
No, 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 no!
Oh, his face!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
No!
Oh dear God. Game over. Leon has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Oh, this is massively creepy. Oh, this is gonna be brutal, isn't it? Oh, crap. Mom? Water? Oh! Oh! Oh my God! Ow! Oh! Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that's disturbing. That is massively disturbing. What we saw, that was the true face of despair. I mean, if we can't call it that, what else could we call it?
Extreme!
Woohoo! Extreme! My adrenaline is pumping out of control! What's going on?
I can't take it.
Do we really have to keep doing this? I just can't take it.
Well?
Hey, if you don't like it... all you gotta do is swear to cut all ties with the outside world and accept living here forever. But that's only if every single one of you can get on board with that. You are crazy, crazy
Damn
bear.
you!
Why are you doing this, evil to us?
What the heck?
Evil? You make it sound like I'm some dark, awful secret society type of guy.
Say what?
Or in that case, a dark, awful secret society type of bear.
Well...
So why are you putting an upstanding young citizen like me through such a grueling ordeal?
Hey,
It seems like you're trying to use common sense to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. That's like trying to put a mile on a scale. I just don't think it's possible. Hey, I don't think you're saying what I'm saying quite fit together.
Shit.
You piece of... I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna pound you into the ground. You must really hate me to get so angry, huh? But if you do that, you'll be breaking way up the wrong tree. What happened because more than one of you decided you wanted to get out, right? No matter how much time passes, you can't cut free your regrets from the outside world. You're to blame. Of course we can't cut free from the outside world. Being trapped in this insane place. You're trapped, are you? Well, I'm sure once you learn all the mystery
boundaries of this school, your thinking will change for sure. You'll think, boy, isn't this so wonderful how we'll all get to live here forever?
What does this mean?
What are you trying to say?
Hey.
I feel like there's some deeper meaning hidden in here. Just like before.
Grills!
Anyway,
Chills!
let's get to the
Kills!
Flagon's punishment. That's what everyone's waiting for, after all.
Hey.
When you say everyone, who exactly are you referring to?
Sorry, I said everything I've got to say. I need to save some fun for later.
And just like that, he was gone. He left us there, overwhelmed by the nightmare turned reality. Even after he was gone, we stood there forever, unable to move. Actually, no, it wasn't that long, I think. Everyone just lost their sense of time. We were too scared. Scared of being alone. No one even tried to speak. Their faces were stone, their voice dead. But it was in that moment.
Just a second.
Makoto, can I talk to you for a second? She moved in close and whispered in my ear. Before we head back, there's something I want to talk to you about. It's about Sayaka, isn't it? Dot. I'm surprised you figured it out.
Listen.
I told you before the class trial started. You had to figure out the mystery of this case yourself. You wanted me to realize how Sayaka betrayed me, myself, didn't you? The thought never crossed my mind. I feel like such a fool, becoming such an easy target like that.
It's true.
Sayaka meant to double-cross you. That's the fact that you can never change. But even till the very end, she wasn't sure of her decision. That's why, as she lay dying, she was thinking of you. She was thinking of me? You can't just say something like that. I mean, there's no way you can know that. Only Sayaka would know for sure, and we can't ask her
However,
now. Even if you can't ask her, you can infer it, don't you think? Her final thought was how she could protect you. What?
So...
The fact that she used her last ounce of energy to leave her dying message proves it. If she didn't care about what happened to you, she would have never left that message. Well, maybe she just wanted to get back at the person who killed her.
Certainly.
That's certainly one possibility. But I don't think that's what it was.
Anyway...
She was uncertain. She wasn't sure she could kill someone or deceive you, which is why her plan failed. Her hesitation attracted failure.
Right.
It's almost ironic when you think about it. Why are you telling me all this? Because you're the kind of person who can overcome this. Because you can move past the deaths of your friends, Sayaka and Leon, and keep moving forward.
Correct.
Without someone like that, the others would never be able to break free of such a desperate situation. Move past their deaths? I could never do that. No. I'm going to carry them with me the rest of my life. How could I possibly move past something like that? Leon, Sayaka, I'll carry them with me forever. I'll carry their memories with me wherever I go. So instead of forgetting them, you're choosing the hard road. Well, I have high expectations for you. As she said that, she revealed the smallest smile.
Hey.
By the way, I have to admit I'm curious. How did you know I wanted to talk to you about Sayaka? Oh, well. I'm psychic.
What?
We took a joke. Kidding. I just have pretty good intuition. Alrighty, everybody. That's gonna be it for right now. I'm going to go and take an hour break, and then we'll be back. That way I can eat my dinner in this time. You received a spare bat present.